Howdy, ladies and gentlemen, Daniel here, and welcome to Need for Speed Champions. Today I will be presenting one of my latest MOCs to you guys, the Ferrari Vision Gran Turismo concept. Now this has been one of my most passionate MOCs that I've worked on recently, and as of Tuesday I had the parts to come in and I was able to finalize the car, and it looks absolutely amazing with all the quirks and features and with a different color palette. And I'm going to tell you guys why this MOC is very different from all the other MOCs that I have built in the past. More especially due to the fact that this is one of my first cars that I've built that is sitting so low, so low to the ground. I don't know if that makes any sense to you guys. There are a lot of cool features on this car that I'm going to talk about. And before we get into that video, if you guys are new here, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm very glad to have you guys here. For those of you who have been on my channel for so long, if you like what I do, please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you like this video, make sure you like the video. And I have some instructions for this car coming out sometime in the future, but I don't think I will be able to do that. I don't want to do just the instruction because the difficulty of this build is so high that I would rather just have it as a set. So unfortunately, the instructions for that will have to be maybe exclusive to this set, but the reason for that is because all these cars are going to be specially built with special features like custom rims, like the ones you see here on both sides. They look so amazing on this car. And there's going to be like a rare piece in the car, in all of the cars that I'm going to add, so people can have that into their Lego collection and they don't have to go online and probably search for one that's very expensive. So yeah, I'm looking at doing sets for most or all of my VGT cars. So this probably won't be available for purchase, but it will be available in a set, which will probably be a limited edition because these parts are so expensive, and I'm going to discuss that in the video. Before we get into that, I want to say that there are some other instructions that are available for purchase. You can go to needforspeedchampions.com, where I will be selling instructions for most of my models. And at the moment, they are not available for purchase because I failed to do like a monthly payment on my website, and I kind of forgot to do that. So I will have to work on that in the next week or two. So hopefully I will be back in business, and I will set a reminder for myself to make sure I get that site paid on time. So with all of that out of the way, let's discuss the reason why this car is going to be in a set. It's going to be a set exclusive car mainly because all of the parts that are involved. Now this car has a different color palette, and originally the idea was to go with light bluish gray for the base color of this car. However, I decided to take it up a notch and decided to go for the metallic silver. So that's what's all over this car here. 90% of the car on the outside, well, maybe 80%. 80% of the car on the outside is made up of metallic silver, and most of these metallic silver parts are very expensive. So yeah, these parts are not very cheap. So that's why it has taken me so long to get this car completed, and that's why I was so focused on getting this car built, because I wanted to see what it looks like in metallic silver. And I'm really happy with the way it looks. It doesn't look like it's shining in front of the camera, but I'll probably tilt it around so you can see the shine on this thing. And that is the primary reason why this car, the instructions for that will not be available by itself, but it will be available in a set. I don't know when I'm going to start working on sets, but at the moment I don't have the budget for it. So this will probably be on the save list for this to become a set, but it will also be a limited set because I am going to be spending a lot of money trying to get a lot of silver parts just for the sets. So the sets themselves in the end are not going to be very cheap either. So I'm just letting you guys know that ahead of time. But the limited production for this MOC that I'm planning to do is probably 10 to 20. So I'll probably do 20 sets of these, or 10 depending on the budget. And I will have custom rims ready made. By the way, these are made by The Brick. Check him out on Instagram. This guy does an excellent job with creating and designing 3D printed wheels with the brakes behind the wheels. I don't know if you can see it, but there's literally a brake right in between those little spokes there. And yeah, you probably can't see it from there, but it's there. Just know that. But yeah, go check him out on Instagram. He does an excellent job with the rims and with the wheels. There are others on Instagram that create their custom rims. I don't know why I keep calling them rims. There are others on Instagram that creates their own custom wheels. Some of them have them past the tire point. Others have them lined up perfectly with the tire, and that's how, in my opinion, that's how I want my car wheels to look. Just line it up against the tire, nothing more, nothing less. So that is the future for this car. Yeah, that's pretty much the second reason for, I think that's about it for the primary reason. I guess it's just the color. I guess the color of the car, how it's built, and the custom rims and all that is the main reason why I want this to be a set, but a limited set. So, there are some cool features. Let's start in the back here. Obviously, this is one of my favorite builds, is having this red tail light at the back here, like we see in the real Ferrari GT, Vision GT. And then I ordered some vents for this part, but I realized that the vents are going to be more difficult to add at their angle, like this slope here. So I just went with the slopes instead and said, nah, I'm not gonna go through all that. So I just added the slopes there. This thing does move on all four wheels, and underneath the car it doesn't drag that much, but these are the side skirts down here. These are very fragile. Oops, bumping the camera. They are so fragile that if you pick them up by their skirts, they will come off. So don't pick them up by the skirts. If you want to pick up this car, you got to pick it up like this, because I'm telling you right now, this car is so fragile. If you pick it up by its front, it'll come apart. If you pick it up by its tail, it'll come apart. If you pick it up by its skirts, it'll come apart. So the only way for you to actually pick it up is for you to gently grab both sides of the car with both fingers, a finger and a thumb, and you just lift it up like so. So that's another reason why this set's going to be a limited set, because this car is so fragile, and the build difficulty is pro. It's a pro build because you have to get the parts at a correct angle, but you also have to be patient with parts because they will come apart on you as you're building it. So this car is the most, I think, in my opinion, the most fragile car in my collection. So if you're going to be building this, you need to have the patience for this car because it's not going to be very easy. So in the back, we have, of course, I wanted to do like a red line going across the fenders here, but it wasn't possible. And more especially because I didn't want to, you know, add a decal to it. I want to add clear decals to the car because I don't want to add the ones that have the color in the background, because I think that'll just mess the car up, especially since metallic silver can kind of fade if you keep scratching on it. That's why you have to be extra careful with this car, because if you scratch on it too much, metallic silver paint job will start to fade away. So that's why I was extremely careful when I assembled this car, because I didn't want any of the finishes on this metallic silver to fade when I'm assembling the car. So but other than that, that is the main reason why I was so careful, why I was so gentle with this car. Now, I'm not quite finished here in the back, so let's go back to the back here. Of course, we got this little, I forgot what this part is called. And this car, if you turn it to the side, it looks like a jet on wheels. Now, a couple of notices is that I used the original windscreen. Originally, I was going to use this from the McLaren set, but it looked kind of ugly, especially when it looks like, I'll put it up like this so you guys. Bruh. It looked like this, and I didn't like that. So I went with this windshield, and it was beautiful on the side, for the side view. Whew. Okay, now let's go back to the back here. So if we turn the car to the side, you will see two exhaust ports here on both sides. They're also metallic silver. I tried to get them in at a perfect angle based on what we see here in the real image of the Ferrari VGT. And that's the best way I can do it, because I didn't want to compromise the side here. Because the side is held up by a 45-degree angle bar, round bar thingy, this part. So that's what these sides are held up by. That's why it looks perfectly angled on the side. And of course, for the spoiler, take this off. This is not your ordinary bar. This is a tube, and it's a cuttable tube that's commonly used in the G-Brix's MOCs or in the SFH MOCs. I don't know if he uses these things, but I'll go with G-Brix because he was my inspiration. So G-Brix commonly use these tsunamic tubes. I guess that's what they call them. He commonly used these as a substitute for his windshields, and I'll give him extra credit for it because his Lamborghinis and cars look absolutely stunning with those things. But personally, I just prefer the windshield. No offense, G-Brix, but that's my opinion. But these are commonly used by the G-Brix. He uses them for his windshields to get his cars looking absolutely fantastic with his windshields and stuff. However, I decided to use this just to build a spoiler, and because I didn't want to connect any of this down to the fender. So I wanted this spoiler to be absolutely free, and that's pretty much how the spoiler is made. There's nothing holding it down, so it's kind of bouncy, but it's okay, it'll work. Now we go to, I don't think there's anything there's not much to the side that I need to talk about. I mean, it's angled at a 45-degree angle, and it looks super nice angled like that, more especially on a side here. You can look at the side here. If I turn it at a perfect angle, you can see how curved this side back here really is. It's the same thing for the other side here. They were easy to build, but they are, oops, see, that's what I'm talking about. Now we come to the front. The front was the challenging part of the car because I wanted this to be sloped. So I used the round parts with the bar underneath them just to kind of bend the hood a little bit. And my biggest struggle was to get these air vents incorporated into the car. And I try to have them all sloped down, but no other part works. So I was forced to just keep these down oh, I'm sorry, I just had my hand in front of the camera. So this is what I'm talking about. I wanted all this to go to slope down with the hood, but no other part works. So I decided to just leave them be, but it still gives off their triangular vent shapes at the front. So that was a huge success for me because originally I didn't have these at the front. And I've been trying to think, I was thinking, how can I get those triangular vents in the front of the hood without compromising the integrity of the car? So this is sitting loose. This 1x4 tile is sitting loosely on top of this here. And as long as it's locked underneath with the headlights at the front here, just a little bit, it'll be okay. But that's pretty much how this little part is made. And of course, the headlights, they are a little difficult. I used the headlights from the Porsche set, from the Speed Champions set, and because because this part is so new, I wanted to use that part to my advantage. And now I'm really happy with the way it turned out. These are a lot better than 1x2 tile with clear. I'm sorry, 1x2 clear tiles. They're a lot better because when you angle them, you can angle them at a perfect angle and not have to worry about any resistance from the part because it's so curved. You can't do that with the 1x2 tile part. So I'm so over dramatic. With that out of the way, I had something else in mind. That would be the interior. Now there is a minifig here, so I gotta take this windshield off. Bend the camera down here a little bit. I basically copied the same design that Lego used for their Speed Champion McLaren set. For the steering wheel, they used the Technic part. I didn't use the Technic part. I just used like a lightsaber, and I just used a blue lightsaber. And there's the reason why I chose blue for this, is because in the interior of the VGT, there's like a light bar that goes across the dashboard and going toward the steering wheel. So I wanted to represent that. Sorry if my hand is all on the camera again. But there is a minifig in here. Let me take him out. My hand will be in the way, so give me a second. Come out. Out. So this is what the interior looks like. It fits a minifig. That's the most important thing, is that I can fit a minifig in there and he can sit at a perfect angle to where he can see the road and all that good stuff. But the interior is obviously the best part. This is gonna keep coming off, but that's okay because that's the way it is. No, there's no other part to lock it down. And even if I use another part to lock this part down, the hood won't even be lined up the way I want it to line up. So, the way I want it to line up, excuse me. So that is it for the interior. That is it for the interior, basically. I'm gonna keep the minifig out because he's not supposed to be sitting in the car originally. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the interior. Oops, I just bend the wheel off of this on this thing. Oh, there's one other detail I forgot to mention. So, if you notice these fenders right over here, I sealed those up with a 1x2 metallic silver part. How did I do that while having the wheels to move? Well, I used I guess this will call it a 1x1 round with a bar. Those things came in handy, and that's how I was able to seal this off. I was going to use like a inverted 2x1 slope and then just throw one of these curvy parts down and just seal it off and be done with it. But I wasn't happy with this, so I just decided to go with the alternative and just use this little technique here. I'm not going to be able to take it apart and show you guys, but the technique is in there to where you can just lock these 1x2 metallic silver tiles in place. So that's pretty much it for the Ferrari VGT concept. Again, if you guys like this video, like the video, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing mock content that's coming out very soon. I'm currently working on another mock and another VGT. I will not just tell you guys what it is until maybe when it's finished, because I'm just getting started with it. And I just started with this car I just started on this car like yesterday. So I'll probably keep you guys posted on my Instagram page. By the way, if you guys haven't been following me on Instagram, I recommend you go check it out because I post updates and stuff on my Instagram page. And especially when I'm getting ready to showcase my mocks, because I can't do that here on YouTube because they will copyright. I'll get a copyright strike for using music. So Instagram is the safe place for me to showcase all my cars using some music, because I want my cars to sync with the music, and I wanted to go hard with my car showcase. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this. I will see you guys in the next video. So thank you again for watching this, and you guys have a great day.